Hi, fellow lifelong learners. Today's episode is entitled Language Education Life and Lessons. I interviewed Dr. Rosario Alonzo, the former Dean of the College of Education at UP Diliman. She used to be my professor in the graduate study program, and I must say that I learned a lot from her insightful discussion of the English language education in the Philippines. As her former student, I'm bent on continuing the lessons she taught me through this podcast by being critical and reflective of my own teaching practices and those of others. Without further ado, let's start.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Rosario, for accepting my invitation to my podcast. This podcast is dedicated to people who call themselves lifelong learners, and I'm one of them. I'm a lifelong learner. And I guess I got this attitude from you, being my uh, previous professor at UP Diliman, and also the other professors there. And it's just my honor, and I'm so happy to talk to you about language education. So, ma'am, please introduce yourself to our listeners.
I'm Rosa Alonzo, faculty member of the UP College of Education previously, but now I'm helping a mission school in Santa Maria, Bulacan. I
Okay.
also I served as the Dean of the College of Education, and I'm proud to say that during my tour of duty, the college was awarded a Center of Excellence by the Commission on Higher Education.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, congratulations. Wow.
yeah. Because the faculty are really also working hard for the students in the college.
Okay, ma'am. So you're now affiliated with Mission School in Bulacan, and I mean, is this school has this school always been close to your heart, or did it just?
Actually, it was only later when the owner approached me and gave me their mission,
Okay.
and I was touched by that mission and their devotion to Mater Dei. Mater Dei means mother.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's the philosophy. And if I have to confess one thing, the first time I laid my eyes on you, I hope you won't get mad, ma'am. Um, I saw you as my mom.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. I felt somehow I felt close to you. I didn't have the inhibition. Just unlike what I had with other professors, I felt closer to you somehow. That's because this motherly connection I had. So I guess it just goes to show that you have this kind of energy, and that's why you're working in Bulacan or in that school. Thank you. So, ma'am, so you worked in UP. Could you tell us prior to working in UP what were you doing and how did you get to UP? How did you get to work to UP?
Actually, I started teaching in UP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from the very start, my academic experience is only with UP.
Okay.
Modesty aside, I did not experience writing an application letter because I was called to teach in UP Baguio right after graduation.
Impressive, impressive, impressive indeed. Wow. So you've been a loyal soldier of our alma mater, and congrats. I wish I could only aspire to be like you. Because in my case, I'm yes, I'm not tied to any organization or any institution. It's like I'm a vagabond. I keep on moving about, going going to other places, but you have that loyalty to the institution. And could you tell us about your greatest experiences working in UP?
It's outside, as I said, my whole experience was just within the university.
Right.
And okay, and I must say that this working outside of UP is a bigger challenge
Okay.
because, if I may be honest, in the university you have the best students.
Okay.
Okay, UP has a very strict admissions policies, so well, you get really the best students.
Mhm.
In some other schools, students may not be as well prepared for
Right.
college work, and you have to at times really review them on what they're supposed to have learned in senior high.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when I took the mate or the master of arts admission test along that line, I thought I thought that's one of my milestones in life because wow, this is UP finally. I could tell myself I'm a student of UP Diliman in the graduate level. But I thought it's not as prestigious as UPCAT. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Because UCAT, you have thousands and thousands of applicants.
Yeah,
We have over 100,000
right.
applicants for UCAT, and we only get 10% of that. So you can see that there's really a stiff competition to
Hmm.
get pass. It's not that we don't call it pass or fail. We call it
Okay.
meeting the cut score because
Right.
it really many students are good, but our facility at the university can accommodate only this number of students. So we have to have a cut score.
Okay. And I believe this is still being practiced until today.
It's still being practiced. And
Oh,
also because we're using the people's tax money
yeah.
in order to support our students. So we have to make sure that they really make good in their studies in order to, give justice to the
Right.
support given to them by the state.
Right. Okay. That's totally understandable. Ma'am, has it ever come across your mind to teach somewhere else? I mean, when you're still active in UP,
No, not really, because I feel that my whole development as an academic, I owe to the university. So it's only to the university that I wanted to give my service.
okay.
As I was
Okay.
saying that um, I feel that I owe
Yes.
my career, my academic career to
Mhm.
UP. Therefore, I only serve the university. And I was lucky enough to be asked to do that.
Okay. Right. Right. But I mean, deep in your mind, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you had some doubts, maybe about the system. I mean, did you ever experience those things?
Having a doubt about the system, not at all.
Oh,
Not at all.
I mean, when it comes to money, when it,
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. They say in UP we occupy a poverty post because our pay is really um, not comparable to what other private universities offer. But
right.
I guess the fulfillment is there. You get to
Okay.
have to teach the best minds. You get to handle. students who are critical thinkers, and that interaction with them is something that you cannot pay for. We call that the psychic reward of teaching.
The
You're
psychic reward, right? Nice
yeah,
phrase.
yeah, happy. You're happy to talk with students who really are critical in their thinking.
Mm. Now, you had many students prior to me. What's the biggest challenge you ever had when it comes to handling students?
Well, because you see, in the College of Education, I handle major students.
Right.
They're already in college field, so it's not really much of a problem because they're in their where they're supposed to excel.
Right.
So, what would be difficult would be, of course, the usual. Some students pass their requirements late,
Okay.
or they don't meet the standards.
Right.
Because for one thing, when it comes to standards, there should be no compromises. We have to maintain the standard of the university.
Yeah, it's when I was talking with my classmates, I mean under your class, of course we would have chit chat about about the requirements, and of course sometimes we would think, oh my goodness, so hard, so difficult, especially for someone like me whose background isn't really language education. I'm not sure if you can remember. I came from broadcast communication background in PUP, Santa Mesa. But of course, I was really eager to learn. I was so willing to learn the concepts of, language acquisition, the classroom model, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So how did you handle students like me, like with different background?
Oh, I give lots of readings, right?
Yes.
Because, when you give your students the reading materials and they process it well, you know very well that I require processing notebook. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
students have to read and understand so that when we discuss in class, there's meat and substance in the
Right.
discussion. Because unless students prepare, we cannot discuss anything substantial in our classroom.
Right. Ma'am, did you come up with this strategy, or were you influenced by other people?
Yeah, mainly because that's how I was trained in the university.
Okay.
Yeah, before the term learner centered
Right.
came
Right.
to the term, students were really, especially in UP, they say sink or swim. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, sink or swim. So we we really had to develop our study skills in
Mm.
college in UP because you know that you're among the best, so you cannot afford not to study. In fact, maybe I learned better study skills in the university than in my basic education because in
Mm.
elementary and high school, you take it easy. But when it comes to college education, the university, you really have to be serious.
Right.
And because of the expectations also of professors,
Mm.
you, you have to come across and be able to meet the standards.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. We need to maintain high standards. Uh, I mean, all the time, not just when it's convenient or when there's a pandemic like like now. But on the downside of that, man, is that some students crumble. I mean, maybe I'm not sure if I'm one of them because I didn't finish my graduate education in UP. Because students will crumble due to many factors. One of them is mental distress, anxiety, depression. So How did you handle students like me who had mental breakdown?
Then, I remember your batch was actually a very closely knit batch.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I guess it's the interaction among members of the class that kept you afloat
Okay.
and able to cope because your batch was really very close. I noticed that. With cello and who were your other classmates? Would you remember?
Dwayne.
Dwayne, yeah, yeah. So it's also as we say, teaching is or education actually is what shall we say an ill-structured problem in the sense you there's so many factors that come in,
Yeah.
right? the the course, the professor, the students, and of course the daily occurrences in life.
Yeah. Well, right now I am recovering from that. Since my stint in Abu Dhabi, I went to London to attend a teacher training course, and then I'm back here trying to pursue again graduate education, and I can credit that to your teachings and to the lessons you gave me. I still remember very clearly that you're one of the professors who kind of gave me the gave me the hope that I can make a difference to to this world. So thank you for that, ma'am.
Happy to hear that.
Okay, well, I guess let's move on to our next topic, ma'am. So,
Okay.
well, we are experiencing COVID-19 pandemic affecting everybody around the world, and you are an expert in language education. How relevant is this profession in the new normal?
In as in anything, because even with this confusion and
Right.
apprehension about the situation, you still have to, be the teacher that you are supposed to be.
Okay.
You have to, as they say, actually, adversity does not test your character,
Uh-huh.
rather, it reveals your character. So if you don't allow adversity to put everything on hold,
Uh-huh.
you just have to go on and see that things can still be, as they say, normal. That's why we
Yeah.
call it new normal.
Yeah.
We have to meet the situation and be able to do something so that the education of our students will not be put on hold. Because we cannot do that. We cannot put the education of our students on hold. That is why we
Yeah.
have used online learning. It is
Right.
our response to
Right.
the situation that we're currently in right now.
Yes, ma'am, but there are calls for academic freeze. Are you obviously from the way you explained yourself, you're not in favor of academic freeze?
Actually, what's happening? I am not very sure. I think in public schools
Hmm.
in the Philippines, I don't know if you know this already. Even tertiary education is free in state universities and colleges.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So those who are in state universities and colleges do not have any problem about tuition fees.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
for example, the problem would be, I mean, let's face it, the device that you have to use for online learning,
Yeah.
Okay. So if I may share, I had this in UPIS.
Mm.
My granddaughter told me that she has a classmate who had to work. This is a first year high school
Okay.
student.
Right.
He worked as I think, a helping hand in construction in
Oh
order
wow.
to be able to buy his
Wow.
tablet, or what he can use for online education. But he didn't have enough to buy him what he needed. So
Mm.
they asked me, can you ask, you know, my batch, my that should we can help. So what I did was to post it in my among my contacts, and
Right.
God is good, because I had a batch in high school,
Mm.
that's UP Bati High School batch 1978, who
Wow.
got the project,
Oh
and
wow.
maybe later I can send to you the
Yes,
picture.
ma'am. Yeah.
So what they did was to solicit fans among the members of the class, and they bought the boy a new, a brand new laptop.
Wow.
You weigh, by the way, you weigh. It's not
Yeah.
just a laptop. And they also will be giving him 500 pesos a month for his
Wow.
connection. So you see, if people will just help each other, it can happen that we are able to sustain
Mm.
and help a student who's in need. The boy was so happy to. We just and the class is so good when they met him, because here classes start October 5, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
last week, September 22, they handed the boy his laptop
Nice.
together with groceries. Can you imagine? Ah, this batch, class 78, was so good that they thought of really helping the boy to, because the boy comes from a big family.
Okay.
It's
Right.
seven seven children in the family.
All right.
So I was so happy that batch 78 of UP Baguio, UP College Baguio High School,
Mm.
have the opportunity to help others.
Wow. So impressive and unbelievable. I mean,
Yes,
that's the power of technology, social media, and that's the power of a good heart,
yes,
kindness.
yes, yes. So
Mm.
I felt that we were also lucky in the sense that we were made as instruments of God's goodness.
Mm.
It's really God who put everything in place so that this this project can be materialized.
Congratulations to all the faithfuls and the religious who are really putting effort in in embodying the principles of their faiths and their religion. So yeah, kudos to all of you. Thank you for sharing that story, ma'am. Um, well, the other side of this is teachers are really burdened because many of them are not prepared. I
Mhm.
remember one professor in UP. He had been advocating for the total integration of educational technology to no avail. For various reasons. So, I mean, what's your reaction to the teachers who are complaining about using educational technology?
Yeah, I must admit, John, that this is difficult. To teach online is really difficult.
Yeah.
But if we are teachers worth our salt, we
Mm.
have to learn
Mm.
technology.
Mm.
Okay? When this it started, actually the lockdown started in March, right?
Right, right.
What I did was to enroll in an online course on teaching online.
Okay, nice.
Help me prepare for it, you know, because you know that you will be faced with this problem.
Mm.
So you might as well prepare for it. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't accomplish anything if we just complain.
true. That's true.
Instead, what we can do is try to see what can we do. Actually, online the use of technology in education
Mm.
is not really that new, right?
Yes, yes.
As you said, there are even professors who advocate for the
Right,
use of technology in the classroom because it's here for us to make use of.
right.
What is important is we're able to navigate the spaces of content, pedagogy, and
Mm.
technology
Mm.
so that we are able to combine these three. If you know of TikTok, it's actually given to us by Lee Schulman,
Okay.
Technological Content Knowledge. That's TPAC. Pedagogical, technological, pedagogical content knowledge.
When did
And
he
teachers,
when did he publish that?
a long time ago, it
Oh,
was
okay.
given to Lee Schulman.
Okay, right.
So, yeah, because as I mentioned earlier, teaching is a complex, ill-structured discipline,
Mhm.
and we just have to interweave many kinds of specialized education, and technology definitely is one.
Right. Now, I mean, personally, did you try or did you attempt to incorporate incorporate the educational technology when you were still active in UP? Were you
No,
one of those advocating?
no, most of the time, you see, because we're I'm handling English majors, it's mostly textual based.
I see. Okay.
A lot of reading literature, okay, not so much of technology. But now, faced with the problem of we cannot have face-to-face
Right.
meetings anymore, then we just have to make use of technology. And I find it, I must confess, difficult,
Yeah.
challenging.
True. True.
But it's also a lot of fulfillment in that you have affordances
Uh,
in technology or given by technology that you cannot do
in
in the
person.
classroom by
Yeah.
yourself, by
Right.
the professor himself or herself.
Right.
You have a lot of good materials in the internet. But what professors, teachers need to do is to curate
Mm.
those available materials in order to get the best ones that will help the students. Remember, we are here to advance, to move forward the understanding and the development of student skills.
Right.
So it is good to use technology. I'll give you an example.
Yeah. Sure.
Uh,
Please.
we have this, paragraph development. As I told you,
Mm.
uh, um, outside of the university, students may need to have some review about fundamentals. Okay,
Mm. Right.
so I had to start the school year with the building blocks of writing.
Okay. Okay.
Paragraph, sentence, the structures, textual
Mm.
structures, and there's a um, very good video on that by Floor Vocabulary, and
Mm.
it was good because it was good to use it because our students, the Generation Z students, are
Mhm.
used to visuals. So
Yeah.
in that particular YouTube video, it
Mhm.
was shown how a paragraph is can be uh, composed of several types of structures, and it
Yes.
was a good one. Yeah, but as I said, it takes hours and hours of looking for good material. You really have to curate and get the best ones. Sometimes you already find one, and then you feel this is not really, you know, that effective. So you have to look for another one.
I
Or some,
can.
yeah, sometimes you find one, and then because of the many other resources that you try to access, you lose it. That's why now what I do is make sure that I get the link right away. Because
Hmm.
sometimes, if you make you so I had to have this Word file
Right.
links so that I don't lose any of them. Because there are thousands really
Yeah,
of
there
books.
are. True,
Sometimes
ma'am.
you get a deluge of it, right?
True, true. I can totally relate. I can totally relate. We have a lot of we have a plethora of links, materials online, and just like what you said, I also get lost because I don't know how to rank them in terms of their effectiveness, the relevance to the task. So these are the things that many language teachers experience. It seems that there's no proper framework for them to follow. And in my case, oh, okay, you may button now.
Yeah, it all boils down to know your outcomes.
Okay, yeah,
Supposed to uh, achieve, what are the students supposed to meet or
mm.
achieve at the end of the course, and
Mm.
that with OBE, of course,
Yes,
outcome.
yes, yes.
When you use that framework, the curricular framework, you always start from, you design backwards. You always start with the
Right,
outcomes, and
right.
that knowing the outcomes will help you determine
Mm.
what content will be useful to achieve the outcomes.
Yeah,
So it really, you just have to understand the outcomes of your course. Of course, you relate it to the program outcomes, and then
right.
you zero in on your course outcomes, and I'm pretty sure you will be guided. But of course, it's not easy. It's not easy. As I said, it takes hours and hours of trying to look for material. Sometimes you think you already have the best, and then suddenly there's another one that's even better than the first one that you got. That
Yes.
is why you have your links, in one place so that
Mm.
you can always go back to it.
Well,
I
no,
also
no.
I also make notes like uh, this is so difficult, or this one is a simpler a simpler presentation of the previous one. I make those notes because you will forget. So if you have those little notes um, in your Word file, then you know exactly which one to access.
All right, very good tip. Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Well, we could go on and on and on, but we don't have much time. I don't want to. I don't want to take away so much of your time this afternoon. So let me just ask you the last question I have. What changes must be made in order for language educators to survive and thrive, not just today but in the future?
I guess it all, there, as I mentioned, TPAC, okay?
Mm.
You must always be teachers. We must always remember that there are three presences in the teaching learning process. You have the what we call the cognitive presence,
Yeah.
where you make your students engage with the materials, okay, the
Mm.
text that you read. Students must do must carry the load of learning.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
to read, they have to process the text. If they need to do an outline or if they need to do a summary, let
Mm.
them do that because what students learn is what they do, not what teachers do for them
Yeah.
or on them, but what they do themselves. So
Yes.
that's very important. The cognitive present, constant interaction with the learning materials.
Okay. Yeah.
Next, teaching presence, right? Well, we have to, especially in this online learning, there should be frequent and effective interaction with the teacher. And that is, I think, this is one affordance that technology gives. You know, students can you can create a messenger group, and
Yeah.
students can get in touch with you.
Oh, that's what I'm
We,
doing.
but
I,
of course, we must have limits. So I tell my students, this is only for academic questions. And they cannot do it in the wee hours of the morning or late
yeah.
evenings. For them, from this time to this time, you can post any question that you want to be clarified about. And then, of course, we need to also ensure the social presence, where
Okay.
we make the students interact with each other. That is why in the online learning, some of our schools have their LMS, their own learning
Right.
management
Right.
system, where the students can chat or can do a forum and
Yeah.
interact with each other. So again, we we have to help our students, maybe even teach them how to post in discussion boards online
Mm.
so
Mm.
that their posts will be meaningful and will move their understanding of the lesson forward. It's not social media, okay?
Yeah.
It is an academic discussion that they need to pursue in the forum or online discussion.
Wow. Thank you very much for those wonderful lessons and tips this afternoon, Mom Alonzo. Any parting or any last words to the listeners, to lifelong learners who are probably thinking of pursuing higher education in language teaching?
I always give the quotation: once a teacher, you're always a learner. Those who dare teach, according to David Cotton, must never cease to learn. Okay? And it's good to be learning from students also. Yeah.
Perfect, ma'am. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Whew, I'm so happy today. So, ma'am, thank you for today. I hope to see you in person very soon. Have a get together. But until then, I'm wishing you safety and please take care.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye
And
bye.
pursue your passion
Oh yes.
and best. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
Bye.
That's the end of our episode entitled Language Education, Life and Lessons. Dr. Alonzo, with her vast experience, has taught me to be an exemplary English teacher and to always uphold high standards of teaching. But more than being competent, it is the lesson of building a close knit classroom community that stuck with me. Fellow lifelong learners, I hope you learned a thing or two from that interview. Whether you're a teacher, entrepreneur, housewife, or a regular bloke, there's always something to learn from others. That's it for today. Bye for now, and don't forget to put on your thinking cap.